Harmony. We are having a Sunday moment. I'm just making sure the specs are all straight. Y'all know I hate that I can't do that completely before we go all the way live, but we're going to see. See how that light keeps on, like, don't worry about it. We're going to keep working on it. Welcome to a Moment of Harmony. We are on a Sunday moment. Y'all know I am always so super duper grateful for those of us that come in on Sunday moments, that take time away from their rest, reset, relaxation, family, rituals, traditions, and just take a moment to tag in with me and join in on a dialogue and tool set and coursework for growth and development. So, super duper kudos to you, super gratitude to you, and let's get into a beautiful moment. If you're gonna make the sacrifice, you know what I'm saying? Let's make it worth your while. Let's make sure that you leave this moment with something that takes you into a better space within yourself, within your day, within your work week, within your thoughts, within your ambitions, within your goals. Let's do more, get more, be more. You know what I'm saying? We are manifesting more. We are in a manifestation series. The Moment of Harmony is moving through, for me personally, the last year of my 30s, but for all of us, the last year of a lot of things. We've declared a last year of a lot of things. So we are moving very intentionally into next levels of self. We're not just trying to go into a new year. We're not just trying to get some better version of ourselves. We are going into the next levels of supremacy, of victory, of conquerorship. Like, we are making sure that we are not turning back. And we're going to get into that even more today. So, not the last moment. Last year of a lot of things. Last year of a lot of things. We are manifesting more. We are going higher in this manifestation series. So before I get into the series, because I'm going to get you the title for today, I'm going to get you with all that we're going to be going through today. I want to give a couple of shout outs. Got some birthday shout outs. Happy birthday to my godchildren. Happy birthday to Anani, who turned 6 this week and had his birthday party yesterday. Happy birthday to Soul Bears, turned 5. I feel like I just did a shout out for her. Crazy how time is flying. She is out there living at large on the Disney cruise. Keep doing you, girl, okay? This how you turn 5, okay? Just definitely big happy birthday shout out to all of them. The community will be meeting today to have a spiritual, like, commemoration, or I don't know if we should call it that, but spiritual congregation, which will be coming together for Dakare and resting in power and his family. So blessings and blessings to all of that, right? So super excited about that. Giving a shout out to Dakari and his family and the community. Shout out to the godchildren and their birthdays. And let's get on into the good stuff, okay? Let's get into our moment. We have come here. If it is your first time here for our moment, peace, welcome. If it is your first time here, a Moment of Harmony is just a platform that we are growing, have been growing, will continue to grow into motivating us, moving us, inspiring us, offering us a space to grow in peace, grow in love, grow in acceptance, grow in greatness. Okay, the standard here is greatness. And that's what we'll be doing here. So if you are here, welcome to a Moment of Harmony for the first time. We are in a manifestation moment. We have done tons of themes. We've had declaration moments. We've had affirmation moments. We've had a matter of moments. We've had meiotic moments. We currently are in a manifestation moment. So I'm super excited about that. And you know what I did? I forgot to do. I don't know why I forget this so much, y'all. Mommy mercy. I'm going to do it while I'm talking to y'all, because I learned that that's a thing. But I'm going to put my everything on do not disturb, because if anybody that knows my personal life and what I do on a regular basis, I got to put something on. We have to do the do not disturb. It will come in and knock us all up. So, welcome to a Moment of Harmony. Thank you for joining. Thank you for your gracious sacrifice of a Sunday moment. Oh my goodness, for coming in and being real about your moment, being serious about what it is that we need, and gathering around, like they say, gathering around for the good stuff, okay? At a Moment of Harmony, currently we are in the season of manifesting more. Like I said, we're doing a manifestation moment now, manifesting more, going into our greater selves, also intimately and practically understanding manifestation as a tool, not as some type of wishful, hopeful thought or mindset, but as an actual practical tool for growth and development and getting into the best parts of who we are. So super excited about that. If you are here, you are welcome. As long as you are in positive and you are wanting genuinely to be in a good space, you came to the right place. Okay? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Now, today's episode is entitled Learning to Win. I'm super excited about that. Learning to win, and just goes around all the grace that we have to give ourselves on our journeys to becoming better, higher, more, and really being able to get into that. So I'm super excited. Now, so learning to win is where we're going to go today. We're going to be talking about grace with our growth. We're going to talk about the conversations that we're needing to have with ourselves, and we're going to be talking about our will to win, the grit and the will to win, to go higher, to do more. I'm excited to have this conversation with you because, again, one of the biggest myths around manifesting more, creating better for yourself, I'm always, or consistently, shouldn't say always, consistently running into people saying, I want and it shall be. I wish, I hope, and where is it? And leaving out the work, leaving out the process, leaving out how this actually comes about, right? How growth and development actually happens. And when we leave out the work and we leave out the process, we also leave out the accountability, the responsibility, the skill set. And so I want to make sure that we get all up into that today. We're going to make sure that as we are out here saying that we want and need and deserve and desire more, we are actually putting that same exact energy into our everyday lives. We are not just speaking words and thinking thoughts. We are creating. We are creating in ourselves. We are creating in our lives. We are actualizing a reality that reflects what we deserve, okay? And we're changing where we are so that we can change where we are. Okay. So let's get all up into that moment today. I am 39 years old. I am in my next decade parade. I'm on my way to my 40th birthday, and this is a great part of what inspired me moving into manifestation moments, because I was just like, my whole reality, I'm ready to shift what it is that I'm used to, what it is that I've learned, where am I going. I'm ready for everything to change. And in doing the healing sessions and the work that I do and have done, I've realized that so many people are at that space within themselves. Peace, everyone. Thank you for all my top fan badges. I realized, oh, speaking of top fans, I almost forgot one major announcement. That's why I need to write my announcements out. I swear. I'd be so eager to get into the moment. We are coming up on our 200th moment on this Saturday coming up, October the 25th. Tell a friend to tell a friend, okay? October the 25th, we will be having our 200th moment. I'll have some special guests on. We'll be giving away some prizes to some of our most interactive exchangers. And it's just going to be a really great time. It's going to be a majestic moment. We're super excited about it. 200 moments, guys. I swear the moments are just zooming. So we're going to make it into a celebration. Join us on Saturday, October the 25th, because it's going to be a big deal. Okay? We're going to make a big deal about a big deal. All right, back into the moment. So, my I'm about to call it myatic moments, manifestation moments have come up on the heels of us wanting to do and be more. And I wanted it to be more than what we believed. When I hear people talk about I'm manifesting, I'm trying to create, I'm trying to do, I'm seeing so many missing pieces, and I was so excited to be like, let's put this in a practical coursework. Let's put this in a frame that is doable, that is digestible, that is usable, so that people actually start seeing the changes in their lives that they are looking for, that they feel like they are working for. And let's actually make that happen. And so we're doing that in a moment of harmony right now. We are manifesting more. It is the last year of a lot of things for a lot of us. If it is the last year of something for you, please go ahead and put it in the chat. We are going to touch and agree about it. Last year of what? Poverty, loneliness, confusion, frustration, chaos. Last year of what for you? You will never be this version of yourself again. In what way? Okay? That's what we're touching and agree on. That's what we're working for. That's what we're getting. We are moving towards our highest levels ourselves. Now, when it's been in this series, I've been loosely doing a lot of study work and research around the law of attraction. That's what I've been using for the most of the coursework of A Moment of Harmony. And I've been working mainly out of The Secret. Not only, because people always like, I know where that's not only people calm down, not only The Secret, Mainly from The Secret has been my primary source of information when I've gone into my gathering on manifestations and the laws of attraction, because that has been my main focus. Laws of attraction. How are we getting towards what we need? How are we blocking what we want? How are we holding on to things we don't need? And how do we move away from that? Okay? So, laws of attraction, I've been working a lot with The Secret, of course, tons of other resources. Whatever I can get my hands on, guys. I'm reading, I'm listening, I'm watching, but The Secret has been one of my main sources, documentaries, movies, the books, whatever. And I have this super dope calendar book by The Secret by Rhonda Byron. And our moments have been loosely curated around an excerpt each week. So I'm going to read the excerpt for this week and go into this moment, which I have entitled Learning to Win. I want us to understand the process of gaining where we're going. Okay, now, so bear with me while I read this excerpt for this week. And it says, when you are beginning to deliberately manage the frequency of your being through your thoughts and your feelings, you may find there are some ups and downs, and that you are jumping from one frequency to another. This stage is so short, and in no time at all, you will begin to stabilize on a higher frequency, and then a higher frequency, forever climbing higher and higher. It took some practice to walk, didn't it? But with the determination you did, there is no difference. So they're talking about the learning to manifest, learning to stay in a high vibration, learning to be your better self. A lot of times just feeling like, oh yeah, you know what, I speak differently about myself. I believe different things for myself. And now voila, abracadabra, right? Where is my where is my new life? You know, where is my better relationship? Where is my bigger bank account? And it's like, this is a process. Growth is a process. It comes in all types of stages. And in the stages, we receive on each level. It's just like, I don't know what. It's like something always is sticking to my lip gloss, y'all. Sorry about that. It's like I draw in things, you know, whatever it is, lip gloss is popping and it ain't stopping. Um, but we get into these spaces where it's just like, I want all of these, and it reminds me of like a video game. Now, I'm not big on video games, but and what is it? People coming in from the Philippines. Hi guys. Hi. International woman. I love it. I'm not big myself on video games, but I have 3 sons. Okay, so there's some video gaming going on up in here. And what happens with the video games that I've noticed is that they get to new levels of operation. You know, they win new levels, and at every new level, they get a new power or some type of new resource, right? And it's like they want to win to get to this different level, and the goal is to get to this different level, and the goal is to get to this different level. And as they get to different levels, they get different levels of advantages, different levels of existence. You know, that's what I'll just say. And for me, what I'm conveying about manifestation is it works in that way. So for everyone who thinks we're just going to want and get, we're again avoiding a process, avoiding a growth, a beingness. Becoming is beingness. If you are out here manifesting and you're saying, I just want a new house, I just want a new car, this is not the type of spiritual alignment that I'm talking about. If you're out here just wanting a physical, it's gonna drive me crazy, y'all. I don't know what this is, and I'm so sorry, Mommy Mercy, but I'm trying to talk, and something is literally fuzzy and stuck. Okay. But if that's all you are saying, you just want this thing, get your money up and buy what you want to buy. We're talking about an overflow. We're talking about manifesting and bringing to yourself an overflow. There is no one in their right spiritual beingness that just wants a new car, that just wants a big old house. We want relationships that come along with those that are healthy and productive. We want connections. We want experiences. We want growth. We want development. We want understanding. When we have complete alignment, that is how we manifest the different levels of existence. And so I want to emphasize our learning when it comes to manifesting, because what you're gaining really is mirroring, as above, so below, what you're gaining. Okay? Hey, DJ, run that back. What you're gaining is mirroring what you're gaining. And so when we are not seeing manifestation as a process, as a growth, as a reflection of where we are, as an understanding, a click into different levels of self, we're consistently missing that we are gaining, that we are learning, that we are winning, that we are growing, that what we are asking for is coming in doses, on its way, or foundations are being built for it. And so I want us to be able to see that differently so that when we are looking to grow, we are understanding that this is not all a physical thing. This is not all a tangible thing. This is not all of me saying car, 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 house, 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 house. This is me saying higher, 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 higher. Peace, 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 peace. Abundance, abundance, alignment, alignment. This is me understanding, being receptive, being open, being clear, and unharnessing my power for a certain thing. So we're going to continue to go ahead and talk about this learning process. Again, today's moment entitled Learning to Win. Not asking to win, not begging to win, not trying to win. Learning to win. Learning to become the environment needed for the things that you are looking for the experiences that you desire, for the people you deserve. Right? Okay, learning to win. Our first part we're going to get into is grace with your growth. Having grace with your growth. The excerpt spoke about, remember how you had to learn to walk. And many of us don't even remember that, right? But they're talking mentally, conceptually. Remember that you had to walk. You didn't know how to do it at some point. You figured it out, and now you do it without thinking. So when we talk about becoming a higher vibrating being, becoming a bigger, better portal or magnetization for great and wonderful experiences, we have to keep in mind that we are born and bred in a very capitalistic, anti-moralistic, anti-spiritual environment. This is how we are coming into the world. Now, I'm not speaking about your home and your family. That's personal. I don't know y'all. I'm not speaking about your community. I'm talking about the climate. Society at large teaches backbiting, teaches superficiality, teaches materialism. I'm saying we have just this really backwards way of being. And so when you have this backwards way of being and you want to get to the point where it's not judgy and we doing away with things like envy and lust and deception and just a society that you literally survive, a society that actually thrives on low vibration, thrives on hardship, thrives on imbalance, and now you're having to teach yourself balance. Every cartoon, Disney movie, TV show, every community engagement, every political conversation you've been a part of have taught and pushed a certain way of being in the way of life. And now you are getting to a point where you are saying, I don't want to be always second guessing myself. I don't want to be unhealthy, unwell. I don't want to be downtrodden. I don't want to the have and the have nots and crabs in a barrel and all of the things, all of the pillars of this society. I don't want that. I want to be open. I believe there is space for us all. I believe that I am more than enough. So I'm rebuking commercials of makeup and weight loss and I'm saying these things have no space and where I want to be. I cannot just say that and then just be that. I am, again, you are born and bred and groomed, especially those of color in a specific society that is based on great deal of, what is it, oppression and oh, I hate when my words escape me. It drives me up the wall. In my Perry days, y'all have, but discrimination, things to that nature. But getting into this in a space like that where it is literally constant conversations to you, constant symbolism to you, propaganda to you that you can't, you won't, you aren't, right? For whatever. You can't, you won't, you aren't. You don't have enough, you aren't good enough, this will make you better. Subscribe to something outside of you, believe in something outside of you. Isolate yourself, be by yourself, don't trust, don't give, just fear mongering. I'm talking about the society at large. So when you get to a place within yourself as an individual where you say, my generational curses do not work for me and they do not move forward in my life. The way that I've understood peace and welcome everyone. So great to see you. Hi, hi, hi. I do not I no longer am subscribing to inferiority. I'm no longer living in pain and trauma. I'm no longer living in what is it, survival mode. Again, this is unlearning. Shout out to Kat Burns and her song Healing. Healing, feeling, growing, and unlearning. This is an unlearning. So if I am groomed in society, if I grow in a place, if I've been developed in a space or that pushes my uh, my destruction, right? It pushes my dependency. It pushes my low vibrationalism. I now have to learn how to win. So when I come into saying like, look, I'm going to be doing better, but then those invasive thoughts come in, those ideas come in of you not being good enough or you not being able to have, your fears come in, your pain comes in. When those things come to you, having grace with your growth. Sometimes many of us will be like, oh, I'm not going to, I wanted to do better. I said I was going to stop being profane, or I said that I was going to stop getting into, entertaining company or relationships that don't serve me. I said that I was going to eat this certain way or live this certain way, and it wasn't working for you, and you just decided somewhere in that, in your up and down, your roller coaster, in your adjusting period, that you were just unworthy, that growing and gaining and becoming was just going to be too hard for you, that you just weren't the type of person that was built for winning. And maybe you didn't say that. You didn't say those words. You didn't say, oh, I'm the type of person that's just, I'm just not the winning. But you believed it somewhere when you gave up on yourself, when you gave up on your vision, and you stopped fighting for the best version of yourself. Listen, and just like they're saying, adjustment period, learning to win. Have grace with your growth. Having grace with your growth means that we are not giving in, we are not giving up, and we are not going back. We are not giving in, we are not giving up, and we are not going back. Once I start on this journey of empowerment, of light, of growth, of development, of becoming my best self, it is right, wrong, indifferent, good, bad, ugly, right? Through all phases of who I am embracing myself. I am embracing my wrongs. I am embracing my shortcomings, not excusing, right? Come, you know what I'm saying? Not excusing, embracing, understanding that I must have grace with where I am going. Why do I feel this way? Why is this always a pitfall? Why does this always hold me back? Why does this always stop things, right? Grace with my growth. I am not giving up on this journey to breaking generational curses, on this journey to finding who I am, to seeing versions of myself I've never witnessed before. I will keep in mind that I am not giving in. When I start doing surgical work on self, it will hurt. Anyone that's ever experienced what is it, physical therapy, anyone that's ever had to redevelop skills like motor skills, walking or hand to mouth and things like that, it can start to feel like it's not going to happen. Things are much more painful than they used to be. Before you started to go through a healing or recovery process, it did not seem to hurt so much to do the everyday things. But once you start to put yourself in a position of change and you start to do that internal surgery and work on yourself, it hurts. Last night I was talking to my bestie and I was recalling some of the traumatic experiences I had in a previous relationship. Things that I know about. I barely think about them, but it's like I was there. I knew it happened. But talking to her from the space that we were talking from, in a really reflective and growing space, painful, right? The pain came up. Hey, Mr. Corda, how you doing, buddy? It's so good to see you. I feel like it's been a minute, even though it's just only been a week. I'm just like, where you at? I see you. I'm so happy to see you as always. But going through that process, you definitely are like, hey, I it feels different. This hurts to go into my traumas and to empty out, to declutter, to reconstruct. Have grace with your growth. Know that when there are moments of backsliding, know that when there are moments of doubt, know that when there are moments of frustration, we're talking about growth. Growth coming up, painful. We don't know what it feels like for a tree or grass or a flower to grow through the ground, to break through a seed, for a butterfly to break out of a cocoon. Again, I always reference that. We don't know always the pain it takes, and we will confuse pain and pressure for a lack of progress. It is the exact opposite. Have grace in your growth. When I feel like I'm doing great, I'm having great things, I'm watching myself draw in better experiences, I'm watching myself become a better version of myself. And then all of a sudden, I get tested, right? I get tested or tempted by a family member or old situation. I get triggered, and I believe that I'm not growing, and I believe that I'm not becoming who I'm supposed to. Winning is a process, and you are going to be tested, and some things you will win, and you will continue to learn. Learn how to win. That is what we are doing today. We're getting to tools to learn how to win, and having gross, if I can get it out, having grace with my growth, right? Having grace with my growth shows and says that no matter what point of my process, my healing, my recovery, my elevation, no matter what point of my process I am in, I am not giving in. I am not giving in to old ways. I am not giving in to old mindsets. I am not giving in to past cycles, because I have a vision that I am moving towards that is worthy of my focus. It is worthy of my courage. It is worthy of my fight. She who is in the space that I am moving and working for, my next version, my older version, my clearer version, my children who are waiting in the future for me to be a better version, to create, I am not giving in, because she is worthy. Harmony is worthy of me beating this, me conquering this, me understanding this. So I am not giving in to the mistakes. I'm not giving in to the no pity party, no woe is me, no none of that. Peace and thank you. I am not giving in to those older versions. I am not giving up on where I'm going. I'm saying this because when it comes to the better process, I see people start out on manifesting more, on being more. This year I'm going to, live a certain way. I'm going to eat a certain way. I'm going to speak a certain way. I'm going to change my vocabulary. I'm not going to say I'm broke. I'm not going to say I can't. And then soon as something hits them, slams them, right? Foreclosure, turn off notice, a back at feeling. No, we are growing with, or we're going to have grace with our growth. We are not going to say, well, I knew I couldn't. I don't think I can. I started out with one mentality, then it got hard, and then I went in a hard left. No, 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 no. Winning is a process, and I am learning to win. So I'm not giving into my trauma. I'm not giving into my cycles. I'm not going to say they don't visit and I don't entertain, because that is a growth process. Because one day they will visit, one day I will not entertain. And sometimes it looks like me entertaining a little less and less every day. Grace with your growth. It does not mean you are not her. It does not mean you are not him. It does not mean you are not ready. It means you are working and you are creating, and that is a part of the process, and that also is good. Okay? Grace with your growth. I'm not giving in to who I was, what I thought, what people said I couldn't do, could or couldn't do, what my parents did. I'm not giving in. I'm having grace with my growth. A pitfall is not a stop. I'm not giving in with to going back. I'm not giving up. I'm not giving up on this fight of becoming better. I'm not ever giving up on this vision that I see for her. As anything else, if anything, my vision for her expands daily. That is an affirmation I say to myself all the time. If I start to think, oh, well, I want to do this thing. Oh, but you might need this type of degree. Oh, I want to have this type of lifestyle. Oh, but you got these kids. Oh, I want to do this. My vision for her expands daily. Dare to dream. Dare to become and have grace with your growth. I am growing through broken mindsets. I am growing through seasons of lack. I am growing through defeatist attitudes, things that were handed to me, taught to me, given to me. I am growing through those, and I have grace with myself as I do that. My vision for her expands daily. I read a Facebook post that I share with my friends that I love. The universe is not on a budget. There's no budget for me. There's no limit for what I can have. That takes learning, because we live in traumas, right? You have parents you've been that may not have always shown up, or you may be violated. You may have grown up in violent, deficient environments. You may have grown up in poverty. You may have grown up in some forms of dysfunction that you've learned life one way. Now I've learned to win. Now my class is winning. I expand my vision for her daily. Expand my vision for him daily. Have grace with your growth. I don't go back to that. I don't think back like that. Once I believe better about myself, I do better about myself, I speak better about myself, and I move in that fashion. And if for some reason I get conflicted about it, if some reason I get thrown off about it, no worries, right? No worries. Thank you, thank you. Grace with your growth. I'm not giving in, I'm not giving up, and I am not going back. I am not going back. Thank you so much. Love, 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 and light to you, beautiful. I am not going back. When I am looking forward, Ashe, when I am going forward to where I am looking towards being, when I am envisioning a life for myself of a calm nervous system, of peace and love in my vocation, of healthy boundaries and relationships, of connections and growth and evolution. When I am envisioning these things for myself, I am moving towards that, and I am not going back. I have grace with my growth. Oops, I almost answered that text. Oh my goodness, I almost indulged in that conversation. Oh my God, I almost thought that way about myself. I almost doubted myself. These things, grace with your growth. This is what you were taught. This is what you were given, and it's there. Let's not act like it's not there. We're not going to act like the people who told you you weren't, the people who didn't believe, the people that used you or hurt you, that the pain isn't there. I'm not saying it's not there. I'm saying it doesn't win. It doesn't win, it doesn't define, it does not create, and it sure does not fit in my vision. I am not giving in, I am not giving up, and I am not going back. She who was lost and confused does not fit in the same picture of she who designs and creates. Right? So in that same vein, I am learning to win, and I am having grace. So when you get to the point where you start to feel like, I'm trying everything I can to be a better person, I'm trying to break these cycles, I'm trying to stop having my life look the way that it looked last year and the year before that, I'm trying to minimize the mistakes, I'm trying to grace with your growth. I don't know what tests will come my way. I don't know how and when and who I'll have to show up as my best self. What I can say to you is this: I am not giving in. I am not giving up. And I am not going back. And do know that as you make those proclamations in your life, as you stand on that business, it is coming to you to test you, to try you. And if you fall, you learn and you go again. But we are having grace with our growth, and we are understanding that we are learning to win. Have grace with your process. Love yourself through this process. Be kind to yourself through, not delusional. I'm not saying sugarcoat the shit's naive, right? I'm saying Have grace. I'm not where I want to be yet. I'm not as strong as I want to be yet. That one time I said I was going to speak up for myself more and I just didn't that one time. I said I was going to battle different and I didn't. Now, sometimes I'm all love, peace, and hair grease, right? And sometimes I'm still just like, when, where, and how is this going to happen? Have grace with your growth. Learn winning is a process. It is a process of growth and understanding and clicking. There are levels to where you are going. Walk yourself safely, kindly, gently through each level. Be determined to not give in, to not give up, and to not go back. And how does that look for me? What does that look like for me? So here we go into how this looks for us, right? This a million conversations. I wanted to use the analogy of marriage or vows as at the wedding, right? So when we talk about a million conversations, I'm talking about courting your success. And learning to win, I'm talking about courting your success, bonding, learning, knowing, growing, understanding, being receptive, asking and seeking forgiveness, and what is it? Love, embracing, right? Courting your success is a million conversations. And again, I want to use the analogy of vows. At your wedding day, for those that have been married, and if you hadn't, follow the analogy. At your wedding day and getting married, having these vows that you say to one, when you say I do, this is not the first conversation, right? This is not even the final conversation. This I do at the at the pulpit of your wedding or what have you, this I do is a culmination of a million conversations, right? And many of us want to get to I do, approved, right? We want to get to graduation day. We want to get to wedding day. We want to get to, what is it? Sale day, for sale day of the house, closing day, right? We want to get to the day and not keeping in mind that before we got to I do, there were a million conversations that led to this success. And wanting us to be able to see that when it comes to manifestation, it is not just a waking up and being richer, waking up and being healthier, waking up and being brighter. It is a million conversations every day of getting to where you are going to. This is the process of manifestation and learning, courting your success. I have to sit with it. I have to learn it. I have to sometimes go through uncomfortable phases and stages with it. I do is not the final conversation. It took so much of that before I got to these words being exchanged. And to give an example of that, what I'm saying is that when we manifest and we're talking about winning, growing, being, we're talking about, again, being comfortable with what it takes to get where I have to go. For all the times I'm going to have to pick myself up, all the times that I'm going to have to cry alone in the car, all the times that I'm going to have to purge and process and court my success. Sit with me where I am and work to build and bridge me and connect me to where I am going. So for an example, I always have this, you guys know I believe in as above, so below, and so without, as within, as without, right? And just, figure eight, right? I believe in every single thing being connected. And I believe that all that we are doing, we talk about manifestations, we say one thing. I spoke about that in the past. We ask for better connections, or we ask for healthier communication. We ask for things, then we get put in a predicament and we do something different. And I believe that once we put out spiritually even a request for what we want and what we need, our ask, shout out to the doc, our soul cries out, right? We once we get into that space and then we have counteracting behavior, we send confusion, which means we receive confusion and we end up living in confusion. And if you are living in confusion, court your success. Sit with yourself and say, what is it that caused me to get here? How did I pull in this? What is it that I believe about myself and where I'm going that is creating this reality that I'm in? Not blaming you, not saying what's wrong with you, peace, 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 not saying anything like, not saying that your story is your fault. I'm saying your healing is within your power. This is what I'm saying. Your healing is within your power. So, when I talk about the million conversations and as above, so below, I am careful with what it is I send out in every, meaning like I'm going to give you an example, right? But sometimes there are people, I'm a type of person that speaks to everyone, right? I believe that sending out the frequency that I am open, that I give love, I'm open to receive love, I am open for good and wonderful things, I am here for the connecting of life, life is beautiful, I am pro-life, you know what I'm saying? And I'm talking about pro-love and life. Don't put me in none of that. Don't put me in none of the stuff that's anti-me and my culture and where I stand and what I'm a part of, child. I am pro-joy. That's what I mean. I am pro-smiles. I am pro-help and support. So there are people that are rude, right? They can be rude and disrespectful. And recently there was a woman, and then she's going to be a really good example for a lot of stuff. So that I'm saying right now, okay? So, a million conversations. What I mean by manifestation is a million conversations with your success. It is courting your success. It is you getting to a space of beingness that comes from the 1,000 connections you have getting to that point. Now, excuse me. I was going up to my daughter's school last week. She had a conference and she had a field trip. And then after the field trip, it was a half a day. And after the field trip, she was due to, I had a conference with her teacher because report cards and everything had come out. I was waiting up at the school for the school bus to come back. I was going up to the school to wait for the school bus to come back from the field trip, and the bus was late. It was like an hour late. So I was standing out. I knew I was going to have to go stand out at the school, stand in the lobby. There's a woman, an older woman that used to live in my neighborhood. She doesn't live anymore in my neighborhood. But she still helps a lot of the neighborhood children like get to school and things. And apparently they've given her a position at the school as like a cafeteria monitor, hall monitor type of thing because she's so often up there with some of the neighborhood children. She is not a very pleasant person, right? She can be very pushy, grumpy, vulgar, aggressive type of thing. Definitely gives like, I just keep my peace and good morning. You know what I'm saying? Love, peace, and a bottle of hair grease. I keep it moving. I go up to the school on this particular evening. I walk up there. Also, I'm not feeling too great, right? I have some things that I have going on. There's 100 things I'm dealing with in my home. We're relocating. We're doing all types of things. And then also, I kind of have, I'm always open about my walk and my growing with anemia, right? So sometimes some days get, you do too much and those days get to day. So I'm already just in a space of like, come on, do what you got to do because we need rest, right? So I'll go up to the school and I ring the doorbell, and this particular woman is literally standing in front of the school door. She looks at me, and I told you she's real, but she looks at me and she goes, I can't open the door for you. That's how she says it, just like that. I can't open the door for you. Bam. Okay. I just ring the doorbell. I wait literally right away. The front desk, because the front desk is at the front door. They have a clear, transparent office space. They can see the front door. They can see all of the lobby action. She rings the bell. I open the door. She doesn't say, wait a minute, hold on, let me just double check. Let them know you're here, Mom. I'll go in so I can let you in. Give me 1 second. Nothing. I can't open it off here. The first thing I want to do, because my first instinct when I walk into a space is to speak and to greet. Peace, how are you? Hey, hi, hey, oh yeah. I don't even want to talk to her, right? Because why did you even have to do all of that? I remind myself, as above, so below, as within, so without. Are you behaving behaving to the expectation of others, or are you behaving to the expectation on you, right? Are you behaving to the expectation of divine source energy in your life? That's the expectation I'm vibing with. Just that quick. I want to give you an example of how quick it can be for you to take a vibration away from your manifestation. Take a vibration away from your higher self. So I say begrudgingly, right? Just because I was raised right and I know better, I say, hey, you know what I'm saying? I come in and I'm just like, hi, how you doing? Quick, right? Because I didn't even want to do it. But where am I going? Okay, so I go in, and then I go into the lobby area, and I'm waiting, right? I'm getting a little bit because I already don't feel great, and now the bus is an hour late. They're like, oh, the school bus isn't back yet. The kids are going to be coming about an hour late back from the pumpkin patch. I'm just like, okay, I'm going to be standing here in the lobby waiting for that. The woman that was rude to me, barely spoke to me, came up to me and wanted to give me these bags for the homeless or the needy, right? These bags of groceries. So she has this big old cart. Those of us that were born in the 90s, we can remember like the TV carts. She has like this big old cart of groceries, of feed the homeless grocery bags, and she's just passing them out to people as they walk by. Take this, take this, take this. She's not even being kind. She's not saying, hi, do you guys need? Apparently, they gave her a quota of how many she needs to get rid of this before the school day is out, or as parents are coming in for conferences, what have you. And she's just pushing them out. Peace, everyone. And I am just like, so she comes and she gives 2 bags to me. Mind you, she used to be my neighbor, so she knows I got a crew, okay? She gets these 2 bags as I'm walking past her. She doesn't ask me if I need them. She dang near shoves them into my chest, and she said, take these for your kids. 2 big old bags of canned goods and food for the homeless. So, sidebar, very quickly, let me sidebar, right? I take huge issue, and I'm only going into these details so you guys can see the moral conflict and then the transfer of energy for moral conflict, past trauma experiences, and patterns, right? And how you break those. This is a learning process. You break those and resend frequency out as to what you deserve and what you desire. Okay, so I'm going to go into the moral conflict very quickly. I feel some type of way about the way we feed the needy, the way we feed homeless people or families in need. I do not like that we give them food, and I say we very loosely, I'm talking about generally. Give them food or give them things we would never eat. I believe that I do for my brother as I would do for myself. I want for my brother what I want for myself, right? But when it comes to these homeless bags that they pass out, that's just canned goods that's been sitting on shelves for years, and old dusty Rice Krispie treats that no one, you would not feed your child. You wouldn't feed your pet. But we're saying to give this to people. Peace, everyone. Welcome. We're saying to give this to people that are in need, as if they don't need I guess like to remind them that they don't have nothing. And so we give them the worst that we have. They have lack of, and we give them the worst that we have. And I'm just saying, why don't we give them vouchers to grocery stores and gift cards? Why don't we deliver fresh food to that? Why don't we see what they have? Do they have a refrigerator? Do they have cabinets? And bring things. I just feel like you have, but you give the less to those who have. You give the least to those who have less. I do not like that at all, right? It's very patronizing to me. It's very Marie Antoinette, let them eat cake. You know what I'm saying? It's very just like pity them poor fools, you know? So I take great offense to the way that we feed the needy, right? The way that we give what kills people who have lack of resources. They probably aren't having insurance, maybe can't go to the doctor all the time. So we give them the stuff that's gonna kill them. I would not feed my children this, and I don't want someone struggling to feed their children this. So I'm getting up off my soapbox, okay? But I want you to know the moral conflict. I already don't subscribe to these horrible food you put into giving to needy families. The second thing is, I'm moving. I'm packing. I have tons of stuff I'm getting rid of. I don't need anything else in my house that we don't want or need. Ma'am, you keep these canned goods. I don't feed my children out of cans. I am not, this is what I'm saying. I'm not judging anyone that lives or grows, they thrive and survive a certain way. What I am saying is that I don't need it. I'm talking about my list of what I do and don't do and how someone is imposing on it. I don't feed my children canned goods. Why would I use it? I think canned good is an oxymoron. Why would I take this bag? Also, maybe someone out there who does and they need it. I'm not taking this. And you give them. So she gives me the bags. They're heavy AF, first off. She gives them to me. I'm catching them like, ma'am, oh my God, this is heavy. She said, just take them. I said, I'm only here. I'm calm. I'm only here for a conference. I'm good. She's like, no, take them for them kids. You got them kids? This is how she's talking to me. You got them kids, take them for them kids. Put it in your car. I said, I walked up. I don't live far from the school. I did not drive up to the school. I walked to the school. I'm not carrying no bags of cans that I don't need. Listen, this is a true story, but I want us to hear the symbology, okay? The learning to win in what I'm saying. I'm not about to carry cans that I'm not going to use all the way back home. I did not come for this. This is not what I came here for, right? I didn't come here for this. You're coming here to say, you're going to take these. So I said, ma'am, I walked here. I'm not carrying cans of stuff back. I'm going to a conference. I'm not walking around with the homeless groceries. I don't want this. She says, you got it, and walks away from me. She hears me, leaves them with me, and walks away from me. I'm really pointing into this story because there are people that you were clear about what your intentions were. There are circumstances at work and dating and relationships where you said, this is what I need. This is what I don't need. You were clear up front. You came for one thing. You came for trust. You came for growth. You came to learn. And people were coming to project. People were coming to dump. They were coming to get rid of their stuff on you. Right? And having the ability to say, I don't want this. I said what I said. Now, she puts it on me. And for 1 second, I'm not giving in, I'm not giving up, and I'm not going back. For 1 second, because I do not like confrontation. I actually cannot stand drama. I hate it. But I've learned that if you have peace, you must be willing to protect it. So you're going to need some by any means necessary about it. So I've learned to grow from, please don't let this turn into something, to please don't let the necessary occur, right? Don't start nothing, won't be nothing. And I'm really hoping it won't be nothing. I'm leaning towards it not being nothing. But do not get the game twisted. I will protect what is important to me. Your peace is important. Your future is important. Your vision is important, right? Your alignment is important. You came in here to be rude and disrespectful and disalign me. I have goals. I have a vision. I have a way that I'm going. Learning to win. So she takes it. There's this point of me where I'm like, she's older, Harmony. You're not about to keep going back and forth with this woman about some canned goods. Just take it. Leave it somewhere, put it somewhere. But I clicked something inside of me about my process of manifesting more. I am in the last year of a lot of things. And taking what I don't need and what I don't want stops here. It seems like a small thing, but I'm talking about the million conversations you have every day about who you are, what you stand for, what you deserve, what you want for yourself, and how we send out conflicting communication. And we get conflicting situations back that test us, that undervalue us, that underrate us. Absolutely not, right? And just that second, I started to say non-confrontational harmony. Is this worth the fight? Is this worth the battle? And then I said, no, I ain't gonna battle, but I also not taking what I kindly. She walks away from me like, it's done, ma'am. Take the stuff. I take them. I don't even hand them to her. I put them back on her cart, and I turned to her and I said, I do not want these, and I do not need these. So no, thank you. And I walked away, right? And what I'm saying in this is that when we get to, it's a small thing that we normally just adhere to certain structures in place. We normally just conform to patterns that present themselves. Meaning, do we come from pushy parents or aggressive family members? Do we come from people who did not respect boundaries? Your no did not mean anything. Your peace did not mean anything. Your needs were ignored. These are silent agreements we have in our everyday action with where we are going. And we have to get to the point where we say, no, no, I am valuable. What I said matters. What I need is important. And I said no. And it was a one little moment in this very full day of stuff that I had to get done. But I felt the click. I am ready for even bigger moments. When I say, no, I don't want to take that job. No, don't talk to me like that. No, do not bring in my energy. No, do not distort my truth. I can now get to places of the million conversations to I do. When I sign that lease or that deed, when I cross that stage, when I say I do, right? For people who jump the broom, right? When you get to that space, it is because you had a million conversations that said I do. I choose you. I choose this. I choose more, right? According your success. Understand that learning to win is a process of getting to know. Before we make it to the pulpit, before we make it to stand before our friends and family, I have to stand before myself. I have to agree with myself. I have to align with myself. I have to choose and prioritize myself. I have to court my own success. And you have to do that. So having grace with your growth and having the 1,000,000 conversations of more, different, better is what gets you to those big spaces and places of more, different, better. Finally, we're going to get ready to get out of here because this is, our moment is going quickly. But finally, we have to be willing to win. When we are learning to win, we do need grace with that process. We need to make sure that we are intentional about bonding who I am now with who I will be, the courting of our success. I'm intentional about getting to know who Harmony is now. I'm intentional about when I create a vision for her that I'm loving, nurturing, and moving processingly through towards that version of myself. I'm taking care. I'm taking time. I'm making moves. Now, finally, I need to be willing to win. Learning to win is not like, okay, I'm just in class. I'm just learning. Speak differently, move differently, different circle, different goals, like better, higher standard, more intention. All of this is great. I also must be willing to win. That means I must be willing to fight back. I must be willing to stand strong. I must be willing to sacrifice. I must be willing to win. When you are learning to manifest more for yourself, there has to be an openness to this entire way that this will happen. I don't know how, right? Where the next relationship comes from, where the bigger income comes from, where the calmer nervous system comes from, where the more confident version of myself will come from. I don't know when or where, but I have to be willing to embrace it. I have to be willing to go after. I asked for this. I'm still going to let you know some of the biggest manifestations. When we close out this season, I'm going to open up to you about the craziest, most incredible things that have happened since we started this season. Since we started this session of manifesting moments. Incredible things have happened for me, right? One, and to give you just a preview, because I cannot wait for the big reveal. So many things are happening right now for myself and you all of you that DM me. I love to hear how it's working for you, right? Here's the thing. There's a part when I asked at the beginning of the year, right after my big brother died, I asked for something big, different, new. I knew that I was a different version of myself. And I knew that I was going to need different things for myself. That some of the things I've always wanted were becoming non-negotiable. I could feel it in my spirit, right? I asked for something big. Halfway through the year, a major opportunity came my way, and I was actually scared of it. Because the opportunity meant that everything would change. Where I lived would change, my circle would change, my expectations, like my life, my routine, my day-to-day, would be so much more fluid, flow, rambunctious. I would have higher levels of being, but I asked for a higher level of being. What I mean by that is that we to learn to win does not mean we think that we ask for things and we are just going to get them. That more healthier communicative relationship you're asking for will require more of you. That bigger home that you are working towards, it requires more of you. It requires more focus on your blueprint and your portfolio, your profile, your financial backing, right? Your understanding. It requires more of you. You have to be willing to win, which is different from wanting to win. Willing means that, okay, I'm being asked to exchange old ideas for new ideas, old friends for new friends. I'm talking about the ones that are not serving. Okay, we got some forevers. I got it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about you. You know who you are. But old types for new types, right? Old patterns for new patterns, old behaviors for new. You have to be willing to win. Willing, okay, when we talk about the will, willing is defined, Webster, as the faculty by which a person decides on and initiates action. Will. The faculty by which a person decides and initiates action. Faculty is defined as an inherent mental or physical power. Faculty. Inherent mental or physical power. Manifestation. Right? Is that manifestation? Okay? So to be willing means that I have the inherent physical or mental power to decide and initiate action. I must be willing to win in order to manifest. I have to learn to win. I have to work through my win. And then I have to be willing to protect it, to grow it, to nurture it, to defend it, to convey it. Willing, capable. This implies a graduation to growth. This is the whole point of my moment. Learning to win is a graduatory process. It happens over time. It happens in growth. It happens in evolution. Evolve. We are evolving towards our manifestations. This is not our dream, a genie. We are not blinking things into existence, snapping. No Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Okay, I'm calling out all the 90s stuff. You know what I'm saying? 80s and 90s. This is not what that is. You learn your skill set. You master growth and development in every single area of your life. You talk 2 years, you speak success over yourself and you push and grow yourself. Work through working out, through eating better, through having positive conversations, through having productivity, choosing productivity over procrastination. Exchange. You have to not only learn, be patient, and nurture the process of better, but you have to be willing to win. Be willing to be better. And watch how you become so much better. I am willing, I'm not aiming. I'm not aiming to hurt a couple of feelings, but I'm willing to choose myself. I'm not aiming to upset the program, disrupt the system, but I am willing to combat and what is it? Reconstruct whatever is necessary for where I am going, for who I am becoming. So, learning to win, having grace with your growth. Do not give in, do not give up, do not go back. Have those million conversations with yourself. You becoming your greatest self is not a one day at the top of the mountain on the other side of the finish line. It is every step you take, every single step you take on the way there. And then be willing to win. I am not willing to compromise, not negatively not imbalancingly about myself, about my dignity, about my morals, about my values. I am fighting for her. I am fighting for 50-year-old Harmony, for 60-year-old Harmony, for 70-year-old Harmony, who will have peace, who will have family, who will have abundance, who will make a difference, who will have a purpose, who will overflow in beauty and progress, love, light, and life. She requires me to be open and willing to change today, open and willing to grow today. She requires me to stand on business today. She requires me to generate and create business today. Do your best today. It matters for your tomorrow. I love you all so much. We are manifesting more. We are doing big and great things with each other, for and with each other. And I love you for that. Thank you for joining me for another Moment of Harmony, and a Sunday moment at that. I love y'all. Thank you for joining me for another Moment of Harmony. Please do not come onto my moment. So sorry, Mommy Mercy. My daughter was definitely going to just jump on. I'm still in my moment. Thank you. Y'all, I be on a tight time. They don't have no mercy for me. Wait till I get my studio. Don't worry about it. I love you all so much. Thank you for joining me for another Moment of Harmony. And hey, take really good care of yourself. Go ahead and take really good care of yourselves. The leaves are showing us, let things fall, let things be, let the colors flow. Go on. Take really good care of yourself. And then, after you've done some really great, really loving, really healing, really awesome things for yourself, go on and take really good care of someone else. This has been another Moment of Harmony, and I cannot wait to see you next week for another moment